Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. And as you can see, we are once again joined by Bex from Blow It with Bex. Bex, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What have you been doing since we last saw you?
Having lunch, no.
Having lunch. You've given it away, haven't you? Thank you for that. Giving it away. Yeah, the show we did last time where you met Bex for the first time, we did before lunch and now it's after lunch. So there you go. You know the secret of BMTV. Multiple shows on one day. Anyway, enough of that. So what we're going to do now is take the garland that you created the last time you were here and put it onto there. But before we do that,
into a display.
We've been talking over lunch about all sorts of things. And I'd like to share some of your knowledge and experience. Even though you're still relatively new in the industry, you've learned things. And we're constantly learning things, we all are. But what lessons, is there a particular lesson that you've learned recently?
Yeah. So a big lesson I learned is to never do a booking without a deposit. Always take a deposit and the remaining balance a week before a job.
Yeah.
Some customers won't want to do that, but you 100% don't do it.
It went wrong for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Customer, without going into too much detail, but it went wrong for you. But I mean, this was only a couple of months ago as well, wasn't it? So if you've not had a problem, you know, for 13 months, your first 13 months in business, you didn't have a problem at all. But sometimes customers can be like that when that happens. But I think it just makes sense to do that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, looking back now, I should have done that. It was silly not to take the deposit, and I won't do it now. Like I say, you learn from every mistake. So I now would never do a job without a deposit taken.
And you say you do it a week before rather than the day before?
Final balance a week before, because I'm so busy. As silly as it sounds, I haven't got the time to check that a customer's paid the day before. I've already inflated my balloons the day before. So a week before, and then I've got that week to keep double checking that they've paid, and if they haven't, I can chase them up before I've inflated the balloons, because I always inflate them before a job. So
it's a shame, isn't it? Because I think most people are very generous, very safe to deal with, very trusting. And I think it's nice to be that way. But occasionally, you will get caught out. But if you put a process in place that everybody follows, it's quite simple, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay. Now, there's something else that you've learned as well, isn't there? And yourself, and that is putting Alex out of a job.
Yes.
Because you've learned to edit your videos.
Edit videos, yeah.
And you're not just using something on your phone, are you? What have you decided to use?
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's top-end stuff.
Well, that's the go-to editing software that most professionals use. So.
Well, I think if you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
So.
And how's that process been? Because I've looked at Premiere Pro. I see Alex editing in it all the time, and I just think, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Oh, yeah.
How did you learn that?
I just sat down and did it. I mean, it takes a lot of getting used to. Like, I've quizzed Alex today on a few things, but when I put my mind to something, I'll do it. So yeah, it's difficult because there's multiple screens that you're editing in, so it's not just your Billy Basic one screen cut and edit. But yeah, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. So I'm getting there. I mean, I'm not amazing at it, but I'm all right.
That's fantastic. I just think if you're using the best tools for the job, I mean, it can only get better, can't it?
Exactly. So, and it looks more professional.
And these are doing videos for your academy?
Yeah, for the academy,
Just to remind everybody about your academy, it's an online, describe it to everybody.
So it's an online academy, it's subscription based, so $11.99 a month. I upload tutorials on big displays, multiple information throughout the week, mini tutorials on little things like clusters. So it's suitable for beginners through to people that just want to up their balloon game and change how they do things. So it's just me showing you how I do things. I mean, there's no right and wrong way of doing balloons. I'm just teaching you what I know and what I've picked up along the way. So obviously I've got 15 months worth of learning stuff, and I'm just condensing that right down to everything in my academy for everyone. So
I think it's really interesting. Like I said last time, Catherine also taught herself, you taught yourself. I mean, mainly because of lockdown and there was no training going on. So you had to, watch YouTube and figure it out yourself. But yeah, I do think that's really interesting that there's, I think some people might have thought in the olden days, if you like, there was a particular way of doing something, and that was the way you should do it, until somebody else comes along and finds a different way of doing it. It's progress, and things change, and there is no right or wrong. And I think sometimes people think, I have to do it right, but it's whatever suits you. It's like tying a balloon. Everybody does it differently.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on to this. So what have we got here?
So I'm just going to do a display where you don't need to use any command hooks or anything. So I've basically used one side of a pipe and drape stand. My husband has very kindly made me a sailboard. He makes all of my sailboards.
I was very impressed with that, and the back of it. We won't show the back of it.
No, we won't show the back of it. He'll be annoyed.
But it works. it works really well. Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah, he's made that for me. I've attached a neon sign. I've already built 2 parts of the garland on the side, which is exactly how we showed to do the first bit of the garland on the other episode. So I'm literally just going to attach the other bit of the garland to the top. I'm going to fill it out a bit to show you how I would fill it out. And then I'm going to do my signature and add lots and lots of flowers. Excellent. Go OTT.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So here's my garland I made earlier. So what we'll be doing is we will be attaching this part of the garland, the bottom cluster, to one of these clusters on the top with the necks of the balloons. So tying them on.
So there's no set way, you've just decided?
No, just make it up as you go along. There's no right and there's no wrong way. It's your own style. So I'm going to pull this forward because I want the pole covered. And you're literally just twisting the balloons to cover that pole.
Okay.
I'm just going to come around this way.
So what, a swap?
We'll swap. So I'm coming behind and I'm just going to push the pole between the clusters.
Yeah.
And twist 2 of the balloons that are around the pole.
I would have thought that pole was too big to do that, but you did it very easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder than a hoop, but you can still do it. I mean, you do pop the odd balloon because it is thick, but it doesn't matter because you've got clusters of 8, you're not going to notice one balloon popped.
Okay.
So you're literally just playing around with the balloons to cover what you can see of the pole. We're going to add to it to cover more anyway, so it doesn't matter if you can see some of it. And then, I mean, I'm too short.
You said you didn't need me to reach anything.
No. Do that like that. So if you can't reach to twist the balloons round, you can use a 260.
Okay.
Which I have in my pocket,
I thought you were going to say use a stool. Okay, I'm interested to see what you're doing here.
So I'm just going to tie the balloons on. This is another way of doing it. If you can't twist the balloons on, you can tie them on. So you use a 260, you tie it to the pole, and then tie it to one of your clusters to keep it in place, which is a lot easier. So I literally just go behind and tie it on in a double knot, and then wrap it around one of your balloons of your clusters.
Okay.
And let go. So there you've got it. So now we're going to add to it to fill it out in these sections.
Okay.
With some clusters.
I'm going to move over here.
Earlier.
It feels wrong being that side, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Greg. I'm going to go down here.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back over here.
Sorry.
I did the same with Dr. Bob.
So you're literally just tying the clusters on, all with the necks.
Now you were saying something earlier on when we were having lunch, and you were saying how sometimes you look at your creations. And I was saying to Bex that how people see this on your Instagram and it's perfect and it's wonderful. So the perception is that you go in there, it's just dead easy, you just do it all and you get it perfect first time.
No.
And you said that's not always the case. No. What is it you said to me?
I pull my work apart.
Literally?
I hate it. I never like it until I finish doing what I'm doing, until I've added the 5 inches on, until I've added the flowers in. I don't know why, I just rip it apart. And I'll teach everyone, do not do that. Don't judge your work until you finished.
Yeah.
But that's easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think it never looks right until you add your 5 inches, until you add your flowers. That's what makes the display.
Yeah,
so you've got to try not to rip it apart.
Yeah, yeah.
But
have you ever physically ripped it apart?
I've popped a few balloons, yeah. Just got my scissors out. Nah, I'm not having that.
Yeah,
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't gone too nuts. But
Okay.
some of it I do.
That's a good lesson. I think you know, you never feel it's absolutely right until you finished it.
I don't think a job is ever perfect anyway.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of organic. It doesn't
true.
matter if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
A customer's not going to know.
Yeah. It's the overall effect, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
the impact.
Yeah.
And even just looking at this now as it is, I mean, the impact of that is not what people, you think of balloons, this is not what the general public think of balloons. And you walk in, it's like, wow, look at that. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm just going to add this one in here. Again, you're just tying it with the necks of the balloons.
So did you do that one intentionally bigger than the others?
Yeah, so that's an 18-inch balloon.
Okay.
So I've just substituted a 12-inch for an 18-inch in my cluster. With the 18 inches, I always like to have them face on so they look rounder. Otherwise, they give that balloon shape, which I don't like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, you literally just add the clusters on to fill it out, which I am happy with that. It's as easy as that.
Perfect.
And then I'm just going to add some flowers in.
All right. Okay, we're going to clicky finger thing. Go! And here we are back in the room again. Right, wow, look what's happened. So
magic.
What have you done here?
I've just started to, well, I've added the remaining 5 inches on, so a couple up here, added my 5-inch garlands on, which I've done.
This is the 5-inch garland?
Yep.
So it's effectively, you used exactly the same method as we showed in your previous show.
Yeah, but with the 5 inches.
Teeny tiny balloons?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct. And then they're tied on with 260s on each end.
Okay.
And then I've just started to add the clusters of my flowers in, which I will finish off to show you how I've done that.
Why do you use 260s rather than just using the necks like you've used?
Because they're easier to stretch around different balloons at each end rather than the necks. If you use 260, then you've got more flexibility of how you want to shape the garlands.
Okay, all right, makes sense. It looks amazing already.
It looks all right, doesn't it?
It's fantastic. So you weren't wrong when you said you like your flowers.
Yeah, I love my flowers.
So you've put quite a few in already, but you're going to show us.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a few of your collection.
Just a
there.
little selection.
Check out the flowers that we sell here at balloonmarket.co.uk, and it's a constantly extending range. Some of those are ours, some aren't. But I'm not going to talk about those ones.
No, we're not.
So, yeah, let's go. Let's put some more in.
Right, so I cluster my flowers together, so I just do big groups of flowers like shown here, and more is always more when it comes to flowers. I just mix up the colours, but keeping them to colours that are the same as the balloons you're using.
Okay.
So pinks, whites and greens, so a bit of a eucalyptus as well. We literally just push them into the balloons. There's no method to it. Carefully pushing them in because you may pop a few. So just guiding the stems through.
And the good thing about the flowers, I guess, you use them again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just charge a higher charge for them.
Have you ever had any customers try to keep the flowers?
I haven't yet, but I do say in my terms and conditions that any missing or damaged they'll be charged for. And I do count my flowers when I put them into a display because they're not cheap.
No, I know.
So if someone tried to nick them, I'd know about it.
Particularly if you're putting a lot in. I mean, it's.
So yeah, I haven't as of yet, but I do know a few people that have had that issue. But I have been lucky not to.
So what's your favourite colour palette to work with? Do you like these sort of muted colour? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of the most popular colour palettes. Always get a lot of people asking for this.
So these are the Sempertex, white sand,
Rosewood,
eucalyptus, and
pastel matte pink.
Yeah.
This is one of the most popular ones, but I'm starting to enjoy playing around with colours now and going for different styles.
All right.
So like my masterclasses, I've done loads of different colours. Something out of the ordinary I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, changing it up a bit.
With this style, I don't suppose you get much, there's not much demand for primary colours, the oranges and reds and bright greens and yellows and things like that. It's very muted, which is very, very sophisticated looking, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And there you go. That's literally as easy as that, just clustering your flowers together. Almost covering a lot of the balloons with flowers.
So there is an element of just using your judgment.
Yeah.
And just playing with it, and like you pulled a few out and put them back in or whatever. So
yeah, just you've got to put them in properly, otherwise they will slip out again.
Yeah.
So yeah, just making sure they're tucked in properly. But yeah, you just got to use your eye. Keep going until you've had enough.
So you show more than what you've just shown us on your academy that we mentioned before. Or you do your masterclasses as well. So if people want to find out about that, just go to blowitwithbex.co.uk. All right. Now, as a guest on BMTV, you already know that, oh no, wait a second. We need to do something different. We need to turn the neon light on.
Oh yes, we do.
And then we can do the question of the week. Or should we do the question of the week now? And let's do
Change
that.
It up.
Let's do the question of the week now. And then the finale, the grand finale, can be the neon sign going on. Okay, so what is your question of the week?
So I would like to know, what is your favourite colour palette when it comes to doing balloons? Do you like different colours or the more popular colour schemes like this?
Okay, leave your comments down below on Facebook and on YouTube. What is your favourite colour palette to use? Well, Bex, thank you so much. We're going to do the finale in a second. I'm going to do the outro first. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you've not subscribed, please do, and hit the little bell icon, and then you'll be notified every time we upload a new show. And follow us on Instagram, balloon_market1, and follow Bex at
blow_it_with_Bex on Instagram.
That's a big old,
it's a mouthful,
big old
isn't
handle.
it? Yeah.
Anyway, stay safe, everybody. Stay happy, and I'll see you next week. Prepare yourself for the grand finale. Bye.